Hello. I got this Cotman watercolour field pocket set in a recent art haul, and today I'm just going to have a play around with it and see if I can adapt it to being able to fit my own half pan watercolours in. All of my half pans are in 2 big palettes now with magnets on the bottom, and I like having the option of having all my half pans in one place when I want to, but being able to swap them out easily in travel palettes. So I've no idea how this video will go. I'll record everything anyway and we'll see what happens. So I was quite happy because I thought I was ordering the navy one and a white one came, which I quite like. I'm not going to use the Cotman watercolours that came in it, so I've taken those out. They've just sat loose down the sides and then we're trapped down by this centre column, and you can feed some more in there. My pans are too deep for this now though, because I've got quite thick magnet on the bottoms, so I'm going to have a go at removing this central column and putting some magnet in the bottom and then putting my own in. I don't know if that's going to make them too deep though, so I'll have to experiment a little bit. So my main concern is how much clearance I've got when this flap goes down. I think I might get away with it actually. Somebody did suggest flicking out the paint from the Cotmans pans and putting paint from tubes into them. I did try doing that with this very cheap palette that I bought on Amazon a while ago. So this came with kind of really nasty painting actually, and I gouged it all out, but it was actually a really hard job. I didn't enjoy trying to get it out at all, and it crumbled up into loads of pieces. So I don't really fancy doing that again. I'll just sell on the Cotman paints. Also though, some of my favourite paints I've only got in half pans, I don't have in tubes, like some of the Gallo ones, and it's nice to have the option to be able to switch those in and out of travel palettes when I want to. So I'm just wondering now what the easiest way is, or the neatest way, to remove this central portion. I don't think I'll get the whole thing off. I think I just need to kind of break through at these hinge points. Oh, that wasn't too bad. I just use this NT cutter, and I've just got an old metal file to blunt off the edges a bit. So now the moment of truth. Can I fit these in with the lid down? Oh, that's good. Yay, that still closes. Now in theory I could take the sponge out and fit 2 more in there, but I'd like to try it with the sponge and see if that actually is a decent substitute for a cloth. I'm just pulling out any random colours from my big paint palette at the moment. Oh, that's interesting, I can fit them in that way. Don't think I'm going to get another one fitting in that corner. I'll pop them in like that, slightly more pleasing to look at. Now, next question is that strong enough to hold them in? Though, actually, I haven't glued the bottom magnet in yet. So, I should probably stick this down first. Self-adhesive magnet, so that should be strong enough. I've not had any issue with the magnet coming off the bottom of the pans. Here we go. Good. That seems to hold them fine. Just off the top of my head then, I'm going to pull out 12 colours, and just for fun I'm going to pick colours which I don't necessarily reach for first. Saying that though, I do want a buff titanium. So this is Daniel Smith's buff titanium. I'll go for Mijello Mission Gold's lemon yellow. I hardly ever use yellow ochre, but I actually quite enjoyed using it when I did my last video where I was testing out Paul Rubens' new 5th generation Ylang palette, and I used it for the beach and quite liked it. So I'm going to include, kind of for my warm yellow really, that Sennelier light yellow ochre. I'll have Daniel Smith's Quinacridone Sienna, and I don't think I've ever had cadmium red in the palette before. So that's Core's cadmium red medium. And then for a cool red, I'm going to go with Mijello Mission Gold's Rose Madder. And I'm going to have Schmincke's Quinacridone Purple. I've honestly no idea what this is going to look like as a palette at the end. It'll be fun experimenting. And then I'll have M. Graham's Anthraquinone Blue. I'm going to have Winsor & Newton's Cobalt Blue. Well, I've only got 3 left. I'm going to risk it and not have a darker one. That's Mijello Mission Gold's Cobalt Turquoise Hue. I'm going to go for A. Gallo's Dark Forest. And now I need 1 brown, which is going to cover all of my bases. I'm going to see how I get on with Core's Raw Umber. Well, I feel really nervous. Right, so I'll use the set itself for doing some swatching. Though maybe not the brush. I was a bit disparaging of the brush, which I hadn't even used yet in my haul video, but I don't have high hopes of it. So the water container about half fills the mixing pot. Actually, that clips on there, doesn't it? I'll try out this brush for the first time. Sorry, this is a very playful session. I'm just going to paint the title with this little brush to start with. I'm not going to swatch with the little one. I'll put this on the other side. So those are my colours, and now I'm just going to have a little play around mixing them and making sure I can get some decent colours with them. I haven't got any master plan here, I'm just going to think of the colours that I end up wanting a lot. So I'll see if I can make a nice sand colour. This is the Daniel Smith Buff Titanium with some Sennelier light yellow ochre. And now I'm just mixing in a little bit of core raw umber. Yeah, I think I can get the kind of colours that I'll want from that. And then I've been using like a deep purple for like my shadow colour, especially on beaches. So that's my Schmincke quinacridone purple. Wow, I always forget how strong the M. Graham anthraquinone blue is. Let's see if I can get a duskier purple. And with the core or umber. Yeah, and that's the kind of shadow colour I'm after. I'll just see what oranges I can get. I want to see if I can get something like a quinacridone gold type colour. Kind of a very browny orange. So that's the quinacridone sienna and the light yellow ochre. Yeah, I quite like those. Just seeing what browns I can get. So I can get some nice warmer browns with the quinacridone sienna and the raw umber. This is the anthraquinone blue and the quinacridone sienna. It's quite a nice neutral dark. This is anthraquinone blue through to the cobalt blue. With a bit of cobalt turquoise hue on the side. These are some sea colours. Let's have a play with my blues and yellows. This is Mijello Mission Gold, Lemon Yellow, and the anthraquinone blue. So I've got the dark forest, which I love as a shadow colour for foliage. But I want some nice olivey ones now. I think that orange, the quinacridone sienna might be a bit too orange to get greens, but we'll see. Yeah, now it's just making more greys and greens. It's a nice kind of earthy green. That was the light yellow ochre and the cobalt blue. I can mix my very bright greens if I want. I think I already did that one. That was the lemon yellow and the anthraquinone blue. I think the reason that I like quinacridone gold or quinacridone gold deep so much is that I feel like it does the job of both the yellow ochre and the quinacridone sienna. I think I can get nicer greens with it. And I'm just seeing, sorry, I'm just contemplating switching out the light yellow ochre and the burnt sienna just for the quinacridone gold deep. I'll just see how I can do with sand colours if I with just my quinacridone gold deep and the buff titanium. So those were the kind of colours I was trying to mix before, and I think that's fairly similar. So I'm going to have to say goodbye to the yellow ochre light. Oops, and the quinacridone sienna. I'm popping my quinacridone gold deep. I'll hang on to those blues. So what would I like my extra colour to be? I'm contemplating adding a Gallo's Verdaccio. I'm just seeing how easy it is to mix something similar. And this is the Verdaccio. So I can mix it. Well, close to it. But it takes 3 colours to get there. So I think I'll have that as my convenience. Another convenience green. So that was fun for me to do anyway, and thanks for joining me. Bye!